Hello, I'm Troy Broadhagen, Inside Sales Manager for Bunting Magnetics Flexible Die Division. Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about blade angles and how that relates to die life. A myriad of factors can affect die life: hardness, operator care, substrate, etc. Selecting the correct blade angle is one of those things that can affect die life substantially. In general, you need a sharper angle when cutting BOPP, vinyl, or other synthetic materials as compared to paper. You need a clean, crisp blade free of any blemishes, because if there are any flaws in that blade, as that blade wears, those are going to be the first areas to cause problems. You may also think that the sharper the blade, the better, but that's not always the case. As the blade becomes steeper, it also becomes less stable. When cutting papers, sharpness is less of a factor because the fibrous nature of the paper allows it to burst and cut cleanly, even with a relatively dull blade. Therefore, sharpness is less of a factor, and die height is the more important factor. If you're going to use a laminate on this job, or you may use a laminate in the future on it, you need to make sure and let your die supplier know that. The reason being is that if you have a laminate on top of that paper substrate, your angle may be sharp enough in the beginning to cut that poly material, but as that initial sharp edge wears, it's going to actually push that laminate without cutting it into the paper, and then push it into the laminate, into the liner, bursting the liner. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. And a telltale way to determine if this is what's happened is if you're having issues with a die hanging up or a label hanging up in a certain spot. If you inspect the liner in that area, if it's cut through the liner but is hanging up on the face, that'll tell you that that blade is not sharp enough to cut through the poly, and it's pushing everything into the liner. Just remember that selecting your blade angle really doesn't lie on you in the converter. In the majority of the cases, your die supplier should be the one selecting this angle for your die cutting needs. I'm Troy Broadhagen, covering blade angles. Thank you.